What's up guys, Jake here, and today I'm going to be giving my impressions of the brand new Apple Vision Pro. So I haven't actually bought one yet, but I went to my local Apple store, which happens to be the one on 5th Avenue in New York City, which is the giant glass cube. They added this huge Vision Pro like light up outline at the front of it for when you walk in. And then when I got there, I went down the stairs and I headed over to the demo table where I had my appointment. And then they took a quick measurement of my glasses, since these are prescription, and then they were able to bring out the Vision Pro with those lenses installed. Now, I wasn't sure what to expect with the demo. I wasn't sure if it was going to be some sort of like free-for-all where I could just kind of play around with it. But they actually do have a series of different things for you to do. So the first thing I did was open up the Photos app, and they showed me a few different types of photos. There was like regular ones where I could just look at where I wanted and then zoom in using the gesture with two of my hands and dragging to the side. And then another one was sliding over would be the panoramic photos, and putting that into like the immersive view is crazy because you can look to like the left and right. So that was pretty cool. And then the spatial video is really what caught me off guard. When going to the spatial photos and videos, I thought this was just another term that Apple like created, and it was gonna be like meh. But actually, when you're there, like all of the videos are just taken on an iPhone, and they're like super 3D. The example that they showed me was like a family, and there was like a birthday cake, and they were all around it, and I could actually see the birthday cake sort of in like 3D. It was very futuristic, and it looked really cool. And I haven't tested it obviously with like my own iPhone and a Vision Pro, but if it really does look like this, I think we're in for a treat, especially now that the Meta Quest supports it as well. So after going through all of the photos, then it was time to open up Safari, where then I could scroll through different web pages. It was pretty cool. You can pinch and drag up and down, or if you actually bring the window close to you and angle it down, almost like an iPad, you can scroll with one finger. So that was pretty cool that I was able to try that out. And then they brought us over to the Apple TV app, where they showed some new immersive videos. So the one I got to watch was Avatar, and again, it was very like super 3D, realistic like stuff, like it was right here. And keep in mind, the entire time here during this, I wasn't in like the immersive view, so I could actually see all the people around me while I was doing this. So it was really fascinating. So if I'm out in public and you have this on, you can just be seeing your surroundings but also be watching a video. So that's what kind of going through the demo was like. I was there probably for about 30 to 40 minutes. It was actually a pretty long time, and the guy gave me a couple extra minutes to play around with it. It was pretty comfortable. I didn't get it tightened completely to where I wanted it, so I could actually see out the bottom of it. There was definitely a lot of light leak. I think it was because I didn't take enough time to really strap in. But if I'm going to be doing this and taking it on and off all the time, I would expect it to be pretty easy to fit it to my face. So that was definitely kind of a downside that I wasn't really expecting. Another thing I didn't really expect was when looking through it, there was almost this vignette around my eyes when I was looking through. So out of my peripheral vision, there was like black on the bottoms and the sides and the top, which got a little bit annoying because it was almost like I was looking through goggles. I have read online that if you take out the light seal, it can actually make it a little bit better, but for the actual product, you shouldn't have to do that. And so I found it a bit strange that the field of view wasn't completely full. Again, Apple hasn't released any numbers about what the degree is for the field of view, and this is most likely why. As for apps on the Vision Pro, there weren't very many that they had pre-installed. The guy told me there's like over 600 ones made specially for Vision Pro, and then with iPad and iPhone apps, there's a few million, but they didn't really showcase any third-party apps, so they're all just like the pretty basic ones that Apple's made. So I'm hoping in the future, maybe in the future demos, they'll have some sort of like NBA app where you can look at some like courtside footage or some 3D games. I know you can play like chess or solitaire like in like real life, so if they could do something like that with the demos, I think that'd be really interesting. Since I was sitting down, the battery cable didn't really get in the way. It kind of went behind me and then off to the side. So that wasn't really much of an issue. I do wonder though, if you're walking around, how much that will get in the way of it. And then obviously the battery life lasted for the 40 minutes. So that wasn't like a real world experience. Something else I was kind of disappointed with was the camera quality. So obviously it was very real time. Everything was, it looked very nice, but it was very grainy, and the Apple stores do have great lighting conditions, and obviously they built these demos around having a good space for it. But when I first put on the headset and continuing on through the whole thing, there was a lot of like grain. Again, like real time, like there was no lag or anything like that, so still very impressive. But all the talking online talked about how good these like displays were and how good the cameras were. That wasn't really my experience, so I wonder if maybe that was just the unit I had, or if the lighting conditions aren't like completely perfect. Again, it's going to be grainy. That grain kind of took away from the experience of it for me a little bit, combined with the light leak. Again, that was just my experience, so I wonder if I had some more time to use it and really get it fit to my face, if it would be a bit better, and if that grain was just on the unit that I had, but definitely something to think about. So the big question, should you buy an Apple Vision Pro? If you are someone that is a tech enthusiast and has the money, or is someone that really thinks they can use this to be productive at work, then I would say definitely go ahead and buy one. But for the average user, I don't think it's really necessary. You can go buy a Meta Quest for like $500 or $600, and with those you're not going to have that Apple ecosystem with messages and stuff like that, but it's still a really good headset. And so if you want to get some sort of VR experience or VR AR experience, I would definitely look towards the Meta Quest. But I have a feeling Apple's going to be coming out with an Apple Vision without the Pro within the next year or two. So I think it will be really interesting if they do come out with like a $1,000 version, what that would look like in the hands of the consumers. I personally am going to wait a little bit before purchasing one of these. I think there's a lot of kinks that they need to iron out, and maybe there'll be some ones on eBay that will be going for a little bit less money. $3,500 is a very steep price right now. Then adding on the $200 carrying case as well, the price just keeps going up till you're about $4,000. So I'll consider buying one of these in the future, but for right now I think I'm going to stick with my trusty MacBook. Make sure you head over to jakebrowntech if you're interested in buying any of the merch, and make sure you check out the Talkin' Tech podcast, which may be returning in the near future. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button, as well as the subscribe button and that little bell notification icon, so you don't miss when I upload a new video. I'm Jake, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.